So we just have the move command and then the remove command. Okay. So for the move command, move, that's MV, is the primary tool for naming and moving files and directory within a file system. So this here, you can see my cursor, is the how would I put this now? This is the way you have the move, the command itself, the option, whatever you want to do. Do you want it to be verbose? Do you want to see how the operation is going? Then the file or the directory that you want to move, and then where do you want to move it to? So we'll be going one by one. I'll also share my my Ubuntu as well. So the first command here we have where I'm trying to move. Okay, in this point, see, for move, you can either use move to rename a file, like change the name of a file, or use it to move. So for this command here, we have you're trying to move this, you're trying to change the name of the file from a particular name to another one. Let me quickly show you how you do that. Just CD. So we can see my cam now. Just be, let me just CD and yes. Okay, so now we want to change the name of the file. So we have backup a directory, we have file1 txt, we have old project and all of this. So let's say we want to change file1 txt to another name. Let's use move the old name file1.txt to, let's see, yeah, okay, file2.txt, and then we ls. So you can see that originally it was file 1 and then now it's file 2. Now the content of the file will remain the same. I'm not sure there's anything there. But let me see if there's anything. Okay. So what was in file 1 that is now named file 2 still contains the same thing. So the only thing you did was you changed the name. So despite the fact that the command is mv, you can use it to either rename or to move a file. So the next here we have is, okay, now you're trying to do the other function of the mv, that is you want to move it to a particular place. So you have the file you want to move and then the destination you want to take it to. Okay, so let's see what's in backup, like to ls backup. So we have file.txt and old project. So let's say we want to move file 2 that we just created. So we just use move the file we want to move, which is file 2. Then want to move it into backup. So that means we can ls backup again. And then we see that, as you can see, file 2 has moved as well. Okay. So next you can also move multiple files to a particular folder if you want. So let's try moving. What do we have here? So let's try moving all that is outside except backup. Let's move everything into backup folder. So we have move full project, temp, Unix, and I think that's enough. We want to move it into backup. Oh, I moved the directory. Let's just go with this too. Oh, they are all directories. Unix costs. Okay. So let's backup. Okay, so this was what we have original. We had backup, old project, temp.log, Unix, and then data compressed file. So then I used move old project. I wanted to move this here, this old project, and then this temp dot, and then this Unix. Then it told me that it cannot overwrite this one because currently I think there was a backup. There was an old project folder inside backup. Like this folder here, this old project was already inside backup. So it's now telling me that the move command cannot overwrite what was inside already. Okay, because the directory is not empty. If the directory was empty, it would have just copied whatever it's here in old project into the one that was inside. And then I tried moving the temp and then the Unix course data backup. It now told me that it cannot move it, these two, because there is no such file in the directory. So because this initial command I had here, this old project temp.log Unix course data folder that I moved into the backup initially. So it was not just the old project. This other three had already moved. So if I had ls, I should have ls. If I had ls, the only thing I would have seen is this three. So because this temp.log file and then this Unix course data file was no longer in this bioinfo2 directory, that was why I said it cannot move what it can't see. So if I try to do that again, it says it cannot. So let me cd into backup, right? And try to move to show you what just happened already. So if I move the temp and then the Unix course data to how do I go back? Okay, let me just say Mario. Like I want to take it to the previous directory. Bioinfo2. Now if I ls here, you can see that I moved these two, the temp.log and then the Unix course data file, to the bioinfo2 directory. So that's why you don't see it here. So while I'm still here, if I say it to move again, you see that the term is no longer there. So that was why we had that error. So let me just go back to the. If you don't get what I'm saying, you can always ask when we finish this section. So then the next command goes and say if you can move another directory into another old. So this one is changing the name of a directory, which we already saw when I tried it with file. Let me see what directory. So let's change. Let me click. It can be so let's change the name of this Unix course data. So we say move Unix course data to course data. Until we ls again. So you can see that this Unix course data got changed into it, and if we should ls into it, it's basically what it contained before. That it will still contain. So it still contain all the files that it has. Okay, so until now we have moving a source demo, moving everything into backup. So, but you can do it again if you just use move old project. This is a directory itself, and I move it. No, let me not use old project because it has old project inside. So let's say move course data change into backup. You can see it's course data change is no longer there, and if I ls backup, I can see my directory as well as what it contains. Everything followed it as well. Okay, so some notable options that we have the I, as interactive. It makes the move command ask for confirmation before overwriting an existing file. And then we have the -n option that prevents an existing file from being overwritten. So if I say move, I'm running out of, okay, let's say file file.txt to course I don't know why. Oh, I moved it. Okay, so move. Who else can we use? I don't want to. Let me just make directory. Make directory new project. Okay, so I now use move the I option. And I want to move new project into old project. Oh, overwriting an existing file. There's no existing file inside. Let's try it. ls. So we have to make a copy of something that is also inside. Okay. So let's see what's inside old directory. We have temp.log. Let me create a file touch temp.log. Okay, so if I do move to the I option, temp.log, and I want to move it into old project. So it's now asking me because I have a file that is in old projects. You know, I did ls old project. I saw that I have a directory new project and I have temp.log. So, and now I created another similar name, the same name, same format in my current directory, which is the bioinfo2. So now I now saw that yes, what I created is there. So now I want to move what I have in my current directory into the old project, which also has the same file that is also there. So that's why it's now asking me that, do I want to overwrite what is inside the one that's already inside old project? So if I say, if I use Y or I use N for yes or no. So if I use Y, it's yes. So what happens is that it's moved and then it will overwrite what. It's just like when you copy like a normal file when you're your Windows or your Mac or anyone, and then you are copying something that already exists. Now actually do you want to replace the file that you already have? So that's what is happening here, and it's asking me if I want to overwrite. So it's kind of confirmed if it has something similar. So what happened before when I moved new project into old project was because there was nothing like new project inside old project before, so there was no error. So it just allowed me. So it's just one of the ways the terminal is just trying to let you know what you're doing. So then prevents an existing file from being overwritten. Now in this case, I'll just use the same example. Touch. Okay, let me clear. Yes. So touch temp to log. Right. So I should have that now. So if I use move, this be a good example. No, it should not be. So touch. Let me just need to create a file. Okay. Echo I love animals. Then send that to animals.txt, right? So when I look at cats, hmm, cat animals.txt, I love animals is there. And so let's say I now move to, I want to create the same thing, and I put dogs. Right. So now these two, they have the same name. Cat animals has the same name. If I see but they don't have the same content. And I use this one. See, so now I want to use the N option. Um, move and animals.txt. So I want to move that into old project. So if I now ls old project, no, I'll let it cut. So if I cut the animals, okay, it's still I love dogs. And then you see I still have what I have here. I remember when we used move before, when I use move before, I'm supposed to, the animals here will disappear because I moved, I didn't copy. But in this sense, when I told it to move animals to old project, there was already old project, an animals.txt file that was in old project. So it said it's not replacing it. So which means the move did not happen because it saw that there was something that was already there. Which is why if I say it should cut the animals, it is still I love animals. Remember, in my current directory is animals that is there, but the one that is in the old project, which is the one that is I love dogs. So when you use the N, if it finds it by itself that that there is a file, exact file that is like that, it doesn't copy. So it's just like the move didn't happen. So it's just for which so that's when you use those two. And then we now have the remove command. So now the remove command is used to remove files and directories from the file system. And by default, it does not remove directories. We'll see how that plays out. So for the remove file name, okay, I think we use recursion. All right, so whenever you use the remove command, remove command, it just anything it deletes forever. You cannot undo move. You can't I say undo move. You can't undo remove, and you can't retrace your stuff. There's no redo. So once you delete anything, it's gone forever. There's no recycle bin for it to go to. So now we'll go through the examples one by one with the file. So we have just removing a single file. So what file do we have? Now if I can just remove animals.txt. And so it's gone. It's not anywhere. I can't get it back. I can't redo. That's like the basic and then we have the next to remove a directory. Now if I just say, now what directories do we have? We have old project. If I do remove old project, see what happens. You can't remove it because it's a directory. So on its own, RM does not remove a directory. So you have to tell it to remove recursively using the option R. So you have RM R and old project. So if I do that, old project is gone forever. Before I wasn't able to remove it. Now I can remove it when I use the option recursive. That's R. So and we now have this one, the -F warning. If possible, don't even use it if you don't need to. Okay, and I guess I'll have to share instances that you might want to use it. So, but the thing about -F is that it force deletes. It doesn't give a warning. it just deletes it. So if you just delete everything and it cannot be undone. Okay, let me just use that. I guess in the process of using an example, I will now share. What do I have? So if I have a file, I can look at the first page. So this is what I have. Temp.log. Let me create not.txt. Okay. So if I use rm .f and then temp log, it removes it. There's no warning. So, and then you can be like, it's not the same as using just normal rm command. Like if I just did rm temp log. So it's just that there are different instances. I think my bosses will help me here, because if maybe you want to suppress an error message, I don't know how to create that scenario where sometimes if you want to remove a file, it can bring out error messages. So if the file does, okay, yes, I guess remove. Let me. There's a quick one. Now you know that if I ls temp.log, the log file does not exist here, and if I say remove. If I say remove temp.log, it says there's no such file in directory. But if I use this temp.log, it doesn't ask me or tell me. So just imagine this was a warning message, or maybe a what do they call this now? And file permission. Like maybe I'm not able to. If you want to access the file and then it tells you that you don't have the rights to execute or read or whatever permission for that file. So we can see that temp.log, after I used this initially, it removed temp.log. Then I didn't see temp.log. And so I now tried using remove temp.log on its own. Now I know that yes, the file is not there. But I got a warning message, not like a warning, I got a message that it cannot remove when there is no such thing there. And so now you now have remove the option -f temp.log, and then it doesn't tell me anything. So it's possible that you mistakenly use such a command and then you wouldn't know, I don't know, you won't know you did something wrong. Maybe when you're not looking for a file, you now find that you didn't see that file. So usually it is for easy to skip confirmation prompt. So if I have something that, I think we use the verbose example, that asks me if I want to overwrite the file or not. Okay, that's the I. So let's see. If I want to overwrite, like maybe, or skip, let me see if that would work for but that's using move. Okay, so move notes to backup. Now I'm trying to create a scenario where it's going to ask me a question, but I don't know if we get what I'm trying to say. That the F doesn't, you won't see any message. It just goes ahead to do what you say it should do, just like it did here. It's just remove temp.log. And even if there is no temp.log there, it won't warn you that there wasn't any file there, or if there was a file there. So you only use it when you are sure that you want to use it. So it won't complain. So it's just like as if you're saying, just do it, don't ask and don't tell. So it will just do it for you. And then it's also possible that you make a mistake of using something like oh, not allow me to press enter, minus rm rf, and then this. If you run something like this will wipe your entire system. So which is why, also one of the reasons why you wouldn't want. So you don't use, I don't know, don't use this command if you are not an expert. If I had run that command I just typed there, my whole system will wipe, right? And everything. I'll have to start over again. So that's that for that. And
Emiat,
okay. I thought someone was saying something. Someone asked me a question. Okay. So then this last command here says remove directory. So this will only remove empty directories. So it's quite safe. Yeah. So let's see. Let's create two directories. So let's make directory remove, and then let's make another one. So we have those two, and then I want to create a file, touch factor.txt. So I move factor.txt into cannot remove me. So cannot move me actually. I want to say move. Okay, move. Okay, so and now I want to show what that last one was. If you use rmdir for a directory, so if I use, let's use it for remove me first. See, it removed. Now if we use it for cannot remove me, it didn't remove me because the directory wasn't empty. Remember that I created two directories. One had something inside, the other didn't have anything inside. That's why I named it the way I named it, so I will not make mistake. So if you know, I mean, is this a safe way to just maybe you have a lot on your system, a lot of files and everything. You just want to clear. You want to clear it, thinking some are empty, some are not. And if you use the RMDIR and you list all of them, maybe they have something in common. You use a pattern, and then you remove. So it's remove all of them that are empty, and then the ones that are not empty, it will give you this error message. So I want to see. Let's check something. If, no, I don't think that will work. It's not a valid option. Okay. So but RMDIR is safe. You want to remove directories that maybe are not, they're empty. So I guess that's majorly it for okay. So I don't know if you have any questions before I pass on the baton to Toby or Adib. Or do you guys have any more parameters that you want us to try? Can you guys still hear me?
Continue.
So do we understand what I just explained? Or it's to do we get what I'm saying? I guess maybe a thumbs up. Let me see where's my window. Do we get what? Okay. Does anybody have any question? You want to wow, no, you don't do that with my system. You can verify with your own system.